Okay, this is KP4MD. We're now live on YouTube. Wilson, are you going to do net control? Over.
Good evening, Carol, KP4MD, N6NA. Yes, I'll take net control, and since it's 9 o'clock, I'll get started right now. Good evening. This is Wilson, November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot, your net control operator for the River City Arc Slow Scan TV net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City Arcs members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and let net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I will recognize each station before continuing.
November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec, Bob in North Roseville.
N6 PGQ, Bob. Good evening, Bob. Thanks for checking into the net. How about any more check-ins?
Kilo Oscar 6 Kilo Lima, Brad in Modesto.
Is that Kilo Oscar 6 Kilo Lima, Brad, Modesto?
Yes, good evening.
All right, thanks for checking into the net, both to you and Bob. Next, any other check-ins?
Good evening, Alpha India 6, Delta Golf.
Hey, Joel, good evening. AI6DG, I got you. Any other check-ins?
Yes, this is Carol, Kilo Papa 4, Mike Delta, and I'm also relaying in the check-in for Neil, KL7HQR. Over.
Okay, thank you, Carol. Good evening, and thanks for checking into the net. Got KP4MD here, and also thank you for relaying a check-in for Neil, KL7HQR. Did I get that right? Yeah, N6EMF. Well, all right. Well, last week, first of all, welcome to the net, everybody, and thanks for checking in. If there's anybody out there, YouTube visitors, want to give a shout-out to them, say hello and good evening, and thanks for enjoy the show, rather. How's that? And so last week we talked about N6EMF here, Wilson. I was every week running out of time and sometimes not getting a chance to send my photo. So I agreed that I would be the first one to send, and unfortunately I might not be ready. So give me just 1 second to see if I can locate my photo, and I think I got it. I'm loading it into my transmit screen in SSTV now, and getting ready to transmit. So after this, I'll go ahead and transmit. I'll be sending Scotty 1, and here it comes. Unfortunately, I can see it didn't transmit, right? Did anyone hear anything?
No transmission.
All right, I must be having some sound card issues, so let me take just a moment to diagnose, and if I can't get it started, I will call on the next station. If you give me just 1 second. Yeah, something. I'm going to call on the next station. So how about Bob? N6PGQ. I'm going to ask Bob to go ahead and transmit it.
Okay, well, I'm going to transmit on PD 120, and let's give it a shot. Okay, N6PGQ should have gone through.
Yes, received it just fine. N6EMF here. Thanks, Bob, N6PGQ. I got a photograph of a nice photograph of a classic automobile, and see that it's got carrying a flag behind it with some white wall tires. I'll say that the background is a landscape with a home and some trees. And so what I'd like to do is say that's a nice car. I will turn it over to Brad from Modesto. Welcome, Brad, to the SSTV. This is first time I've recognized seeing you here, but anyway, I'm here in Rancho Cordova, so welcome to the SSTV show, and what we do is if you could describe what you saw in the picture, that'd be great.
KL7HQR.
Good evening, Neil, KL7HQR. Thanks for checking in.
I just want to let you know that I'm in here now. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thanks, Neil. Go ahead, Brad.
Thanks, guys. I got a nice, looks like a 640 by 496, 640 by 496, which is a little larger, higher quality picture, and a nice copy on the brown car in front of the house. Very solid copy here tonight, and very good. Do I send now, or are we going to pass it around for comments?
Oh yeah, yeah. The custom is we typically will just in order of check-in, we'll go through the list, and the next person on the list will be you. But before we get to your transmission, I will go ahead and let the next check-in describe what they saw in the photo if they want to. And if possible, I'll be the next one to transmit just before you if I can get back on track with my sound card. Thank you, Brad. Did you have anything else?
I'm looking for the live YouTube stream. Is there a click in the email or the website, or do I just go to YouTube to look around?
Carol, would you please assist Brad with his question in terms of the YouTube link on our website? Thank you.
You can go to our website, n6na.org, and just go to just scroll down the home page there, and there should be a link to it right there. You should be able to go straight to it there. Oh.
Thank you. I found it. I see the car. KO6KL.
All right. Thanks for the question, Brad, and I do appreciate your help with that, Carol. Appreciate that. And Joel, what would you? Did you copy the photo from N6BGQ?
Excellent reception, hardly any pause, noise pops, a bit of a moire pattern on it, but that's on my end. Looks like a beautiful house out in the country, flag on the house, flag on the way, and leading around a beautiful green grass lawn going somewhere. Off in the distance on the left, you can see kind of mountains in the distance and fields. California brown type of fields, so that I would guess this is summer. In fact, is this 4th of July, flying the flag? I'm not a classic car person, so I'm not completely sure what kind of car this is, but, like late 40s, early 50s style, nice sedan, white walls. Do they even make white wall tires anymore? Lots of chrome. No idea what brand, model, make. But looks like it was a beautiful day. And I don't see any antennas on the house, so is this a ham or is there an HOA? Back to net. Oh, and Brad, you have a really bad 60-cycle hum on your signal. We can understand and hear you, but just let you know. Back to net, AI6TG.
Yeah, thanks for that comment, Joel. I hear the same thing in Brad's signal, but I am able to copy him, so that's good feedback. Did you have any comments, Brad?
We got a little closer to the microphone. Sorry about that. I have a little RFI.
All right, very good. Thank you for that. So, Carol, go ahead. Did you copy N6PGQ's photo?
Yeah, this is KP4MD. I did copy it very well, as you can see on YouTube. I think got less than a dozen of these little color pixels. Good solid copy. If I look carefully between the two trees there, it looks like I might see a bit of the antenna tower. I don't know if that's correct or not there, the one that was up before the storm. So that's it from my side. I really can't comment about the car, but it looks really nice and old. Back to net control. It's KP4MD.
Thank you, Carol. That was KP4MD there, and so I'll turn it over to Neil. Were you able to copy Bob's?
All right, KL7HUR, extremely good copy. Nothing actually to add, except that I know exactly what car it is, and I know exactly where it is and how it happened. I'll let Bob talk about that. We'll try to cut my comments a little short so that more people can have a chance to send the images. Back to Nat.
All right, very good. Yeah, my dad would probably be able to identify this car right offhand. This was a car that he would appreciate based on the appearances, but I'm not up on these types of cars myself, so I could throw a guess out there that maybe it's a Plymouth or a Buick, but I'd be stretching it. So anyway, that's great. Bob, N6PGQ, your photo came in good. Just want to turn it over to you for some background on it. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Yeah, Carol's the only one that noticed between the trees you can tell a little of my tower and the antenna, and there's another American flag hanging there if you look real closely. There's one on the porch to the left of the car and one on the back of the car. It was taken 4th of July a year and a half ago. The neighborhood has a 4th of July parade, so I haul a car out and do that. The car's a 1941 Ford. My dad bought it 5 days before Pearl Harbor, brand new in San Francisco, and kept his fingers crossed that the government didn't take it back because it's a four-door and they might have used it as a sedan for the government. But he also commented he was real lucky he was able to get 5 tires with it, because right at that time they were starting to ration tires, and you'd get a used tire for your 5th tire. White walls, in my opinion, are pretty ugly. They usually aren't on that car, but my son gave me a set of tires for Christmas one year that are white walls, so that's why it's on the car. Car's a super deluxe and has been obviously in the family since it was brand new. N6 PGQ.
All right, 1941 Ford. Can you tell me just a little bit about the engine, please? Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, the car's completely stock. It's got an 85 horsepower flathead V8. Basically the exact same thing that came with the car. The engine's been replaced once, but everything else on the car, including the upholstery and everything, is all original. We burned the engine up one time on a car tour. It had to idle an awful lot of time at a road construction site that wasn't listed on Caltrans' website, and so it cooked the engine. So we had to rebuild it. So it's not completely original, but pretty much. It's a super deluxe model. Had basically all the accessories you could ask for, radio and heater and all that kind of stuff. So there it is.
Very interesting that the car is, if my math is accurate, is 80, maybe 80 years old, and is on its 2nd engine, which is, in my opinion, phenomenal. So nice job keeping a family heirloom in the family, and making it sustainable. Nice work.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, for those people that have been around here, Neil included, we don't throw anything away. It's N6 PGQ.
I appreciate that. So thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and send my photo out now, get back on track with the photo. I'm going to just send it now, and I think I'm ready to transmit. N6EMF will be transmitting Scotty 1. All right, N6NA Net Control here has just transmitted his photo, and I guess I'll turn it back over to Bob to ask whether he has copied the photo.
Well, I have, and somebody's into vehicles. I see somebody's working on their car. They've got the parts covered up on the left side. It's a dual overhead cam engine with chains that connect the two cams together, and I'm trying to figure, and my brain is not working, what it is. It's obviously late model because it's got dual overhead cams, and the picture is nice and clear in the front and a little bit out of focus in the back, which is normal. Looks like it was taken indoors, and somebody's doing some engine work. Got a bag over the left side covering up parts and everything else, so there you are. We'll be waiting to find out what it is. I'm going to make a wild guess, and it's just a wild guess, that it's out of a Honda. So that's my guess, N6PGQ.
All right, thank you, Bob, N6PGQ. Turning it over to Brad, KO6KL. Brad, did you copy?
Got a solid picture of an engine. Looks good. KO6KL.
KO6KL and 6EMF. Thank you, Brad. AI6GE. Joel, go right ahead. Did you copy?
Excellent reception, very few single pops. I do have down towards the bottom half a couple places where it's kind of a line of green or a line of red, so there must have been some, not noise pops, but the little carrier tones for a moment. Yep, double overhead cam. I see a double chain, a metal chain all the way at the bottom that must be coming from whatever is driving the cam, and a little bit above that, a single chain going across the two, because the double chain's only going to the right cam. The single chain is a little bit above that, going to both chains. I feel like it might be intake on the left and exhaust right from the way the pipes look in the background. And I'm guessing this is the Porsche that you were working on, and I was thinking, air-cooled engines, but then you'd also indicated that this was the first year of Porsche having a water-cooled engine, which makes more sense. So if I start counting cylinders, that's a hard one. I don't know if it's a V, a shallow V, or an inline. 1, 2, must be a shallow V is what I'm guessing, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that's it. Back to net, AS60.
All right, Joel, thank you for that. I see you copied the photo. That's good news. I had the transmit audio turned almost up all the way, and that wasn't right. But anyway, thank you for that. Carol, KP4MD, did you copy the photo?
Yeah, this is KP4MD. You can see it on the YouTube, what I copied. And again, if there are a dozen little colored pixels there, it not hardly any. I really don't know the inside of car engines. I get the impression that's what it is. But I could see the chains on there, and looks like two camshafts, and gee whiz, looks like there's 12 cams. But I don't know of any 12 cylinder engine, so I think it's probably a 6-cylinder engine, V6 maybe. I don't know why those cams are double on each one. But this is completely out of my element, so just my guess. But somebody looks like they're having a lot of fun with this. So back to net controls, KP from D.
Thank you, Carol. Okay, so Neil, KL7HQR, N6EMF, did you copy?
KL7HQR. Yeah, absolutely good copy here, no problem at all. As everybody indicated, very, very few. I have to look carefully to see any of the artifacts. But as far as describing, as Carol said, I'm a software guy. This is a piece of hardware, so I really don't know much about it. And my software is Fortran and assembly language, so it's a little outdated even there. So, but great copy, great transmission. The only reason I guessed what car it was is because Mr. EMF already mentioned this car some time ago. Back to Nat.
Okay, Neil, thank you. KL7HQR and 6EMF. So, yeah, I appreciate all the comments. I know this is ham radio and it isn't about cars, but we all have varying interests, and this is SSTV, so I appreciate you hanging in there with me. Yeah, this is a horizontally opposed six-cylinder engine, and you're looking at Bank 1, which has three of the six cylinders. So it's a 3.4 liter out of a 1999 Porsche Carrera that I have. I took the engine out last fall to basically correct an intake leak that required the engine to be lowered to correct. So rather than just do that, because there's so much labor involved in just that, I decided to remove the engine completely and address some other issues that I became aware of. So the story behind that was in changing the oil, the Porsche gurus teach us to take the oil filter out and cut the pleats open and examine any material in the pleats, whether it's metal or plastic. I discovered plastic bits from timing chain guides in there, but everything else was okay. And I knew I had this intake leak, and I knew that there was a bad sound coming from the hydraulic valve lifters on this side of the engine. So I was just gunning for this opportunity to get in here and address numerous problems. I replaced 3 of the 12 valve lifters, so there's 24 valves on this engine, 12 on each side. And Carol pointed out that yes, there's 12 cams, lobes on each on this side of the engine. There's 6 on the intake side on the left and 6 on the exhaust side on the right. And the purpose is to increase the purpose for having 2 valves in one cylinder is to increase the fluid flow. So you literally get more intake volume per stroke when you have 2 valves that can open up in that space, or 2 exhaust strokes. So that translates into better, faster displacement, higher revving, more power, and more torque, and all the other stuff. So in here, I've been in here. I replaced some hydraulic lifters. 3 of 12 of these were bad. I got in here and replaced all the timing chain guides. By the way, this engine has 5 timing chains. You're looking at 2 of them here. The one at the bottom extends all the way down to the crank, and it's just an amazing engine because it has 5 chains. But things that I wanted to say about this picture is the aspect ratio isn't correct. I'm not sure why, but it's more elongated from bottom to top. The actual head is more elongated, and I think the thing that this engine has in common with Honda is that believe it or not, the Japanese and the Germans have collaborated throughout history on these horizontally opposed engines, not with Honda, but with like Subaru and other companies. But so I think that pretty much maybe addresses all the questions Joel hit on what it is. And yes, it's water cooled, and it's from '99, and it's called a boxer engine because the pistons box left and right horizontally like a boxer. So that's my fun story. Represents progress with completing my car. Hopefully I can wrap this up here in February and be done with it, get it back on the road, and focus more on ham radio. N6EMF, thanks for the comments and questions. All right, well, if nothing else on that, I will turn it over to Brad, KL6KL.
Comment.
Go ahead with a comment, I'm sorry.
Leave it to German technology to have such complicated engines, although usually for a reason for the performance. I've got an Audi with a V6 engine in it, and it's actually got, believe it or not, 30 valves, 5 valves per cylinder, and that's just a standard normally aspirated engine. I'm not sure what to say, but that's just German cars. Back to that S6TG.
Yeah, they sure are fun to drive and to operate, so hang in there. If you ever want to discuss German cars, let me know. I'm not an expert, but I grew up working on this kind of stuff and have a lot of insight. So N6EMF, plenty of tools, N6EMF. How about Brad, KO6KL? You ready to transmit a photo?
I've been ready about 3 times and screwed it up right at the last second here, so give me just a second.
All right, net control standing by. We'll give you a couple of minutes, maybe a minute, and if not, let us know, and we can try someone else and come back to you if we need to.
All right, just a quickie in the interest of time. This one's going to be Papa Delta 50, KO6KL.
All right, nearly perfect copy, Brad. Nice work, KO6KO. N6EMF is seeing a photo with rich color. N6EMF day KO6KL. I have to. I haven't seen this photo in a long time, and anyway. It's a globe with an octopus wrapped around it and sitting on top of it rather, and is holding a collection of artifacts or technological artifacts from different periods in history, and I know there's a meaning here, and I'm not sure if there's a political meaning or whatever, but it's a cute photo, purple octopus, and I got it. It came in pretty clear, and so I'll turn it over to, let's see, where are we in the list? I think I'll just go with AI6DG. Joel, did you want to give your update?
Wow, where to start? This is interesting. Yeah, big, angry, mean-looking octopus hugging a globe. It almost looks like the RKO globe with there's an antenna tower sticking up off to the side of it with circles radiating around it, so it's obviously transmitting. I see an old-style moving movie camera with the 2 reels on it in one arm. It looks like it's on a stand. I see a cell phone in another arm. Maybe a vacuum tube. I'm not sure. And I don't know what the other thing is on the other side. A blue square with some orange fringe around. Oh, is that a TV maybe? So who's the author that writes the horror films with the evil character with Shaluka or something like that? This octopus almost looks like he's out of a horror film of this guy. Shaluka, Shaluti. I have no idea how to pronounce it. It's spelled weird. Back to that AI6DG. Very colorful, interesting. Touches on a lot of different themes from what I can see. Back to that.
I agree, Joel. Very interesting. Another comment I neglected was the PD50 was pretty impressive. It's fast, and I got to do my homework, figure out what the aspect ratio is, or rather the pixel count. That there might be an explanation there. So next is Carol. Carol, you're up. KP4MD. Would you please let us know if you copied the photo? Thank you.
Yes, N6CMF and the group. This is KP4MD. Of course, if you're watching YouTube, you'll see exactly what I received. And I did get that purple octopus on top of a globe, and it seems to have all kinds of electronic devices in its tentacles. There's a smartphone on the right, and then going counterclockwise, we have a camera, movie camera. I'm not sure what's in the next tentacle. Maybe it's a flip phone. I don't know. Then there's a radio tower and a television set. So I wonder if this has to do with just mass media uh, growing like an octopus and just covering the world with its tentacles. This is what I'm guessing. Not necessarily internet, but just mass media in total. There's some kind of meaning behind this. So back to net control. This is KP4MD.
I think you said what I wanted to say in one way or another. So thank you, Carol. Let me go back to Bob, N6PGQ. Copy?
I do, and I'm amazed how fast the image came through. The colors are really good. You've got red and yellow against black at the bottom, and kind of looks more like a salmon-y color moving over to light blue at the very top. Below the tower is some kind of a hockey puck sort of thing that is separate from the tentacle. And I don't know what that thing is to the left of the movie camera. It either is a 6 or a 9. Looks more like a 6 from this side. I couldn't tell what it is. And there are quite a few noise artifacts through the picture at my QTH. But it went by really, really fast, and quality's pretty good. N6PGQ.
I would agree with you, Bob. Thanks for that. Brad, KO6KL, go ahead and tell us about your photo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the comments, everyone. The picture's from an article about corporate control of the media, so the different types of media are represented there, and I don't know what that one is at the 1 o'clock either. RKO globes, I think someone mentioned, so maybe that's before my time. And then PD50 takes 50 seconds. I think it's pretty much the fastest color one, if you're going to go for one of the color ones. The Martin and Robot, I don't think hold up really good on HF, so I don't like that one. But PD50 will work on HF, and then if you kick that up a couple notches, that's what they're using on the space station now to come down. It's PD120, I think. So it works pretty good. I did have one question for you guys in Sacramento. One question for Sacramento stations. Is some of the popping in your local receive or just over the repeater?
I'm observing it's in the repeater because everybody's getting it. That's what I'm thinking.
When you guys listen to each other on the input, for instance, do you hear the popping as well, or is it just from the repeater receive site that it's getting introduced?
I'm going to lean on Carol. KP4MD, would you have insight for KO6KL on that question about the popping?
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. We've identified this as pulse signals from the Beale Air Force Base radar, and it's something you can recognize a rhythmical quality to this at times, where you can see it actually comes in diagonal it forms a diagonal pattern, and you can just barely start to see a diagonal pattern there. But that's actually being picked up by the repeater up there from Beal back to net control.
Thank you, Carol, N6EMF. Hope that helps. Brad, what do you think?
I was just wondering, it seemed like watching Carol's picture go through that she's getting more interference than me.
All right, interesting. Let's see. So thanks for the any comments on Brad's picture. If I'll give a quick pause, and if not, we'll go to Joel. Go ahead, Joel. AI6DG, ready to transmit.
This is PD-120.
All right, Joel, nice work. I was able to copy a photo, slightly out of focus, maybe, from my perspective. Just a few pop marks here and there, but I could see the vehicle in the background and sort of a picnic table maybe in the foreground with all of your remote gear. Looks like you've set up a remote station. Without going into all the details, I see a Elecraft KX3 maybe, possibly a power supply in white, external speaker, headphones maybe, and a cell phone, and a band plan underneath the cell phone, some other knickknacks, maybe an HT, a plastic storage box of goodies, and I hope I didn't take all the fun from everybody, but I think I see the Volkswagen in the background, possibly, maybe not, maybe that's just a reach, but anyway, I want to say nice photo, very encouraging. In fact, I have an Elecraft KX2 and a shopping cart for the last 3 nights, and every night before I go to bed, I'm wondering if I'm going to pull the trigger on a KX2, and now I see this in this photo, so maybe there's an 800 number I can call to get some advice on that. So I'm going to turn it over to Carol, KP4MD, for did you copy? What did you see?
Yeah, this is KP4MD. Copied quite well. A few more colored pixels here and there. There's a little band up the top, going through the top of the hubcap there. I don't think that's a hubcap. That's just a rim. They call that. They don't use hubcaps anymore. I'm just really impressed that you can identify this as a Volkswagen just by seeing that piece of the car. Yeah, the KX2 is there. It's next to the Hard Rock 50. Looks like there is a handheld radio there with a communication speaker next to it, perhaps. There's another communication speaker on top of a box there, which might be some kind of a power supply that's behind the KX2. Another box here in the left-hand corner. I'm not sure what that is. Might be a battery, perhaps. Um, nice headset in front of the Hard Rock 50 with looks like a clipboard. Clipboard might possibly be a log for your contacts, and there's a smartphone on top of one of the ARL band plan charts. And on the right side, I see a plastic storage bin, and in front of that, there's something laying down. It looks like it has a handle. I'm not sure what that is, um, but and there's a U.S. Postal Service box, priority mail box there on the right edge of the picture. That's all I'm seeing, and of course it's all on a table. I know that Joel loves to do these portable operations from parking lots and stuff. So back to net control. This is KP4MD.
Thank you, KP4MD. Yes, looks like lots of fun, and mistakenly identified a Volkswagen as probably an Audi based on Joel's earlier comments. So my apologies, but Volkswagen's now in the same family, right? So anyway, thanks, Carol, and I'll turn it over to Neil, KL7HQR. Did you copy?
Yeah, very good copy here. A few artifacts on the right-hand side of the picture over the table. And a very good description from everybody. I am amazed on how much detail you guys can as far as brand and of equipment and etc. I could not do that. I think if I want to add something, I can say that I see a lot of little rocks. Very good resolution on the rocks underneath the left side of the table. But no, very, very good copy. No problem at all. Back to that.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Moving right along to Bob, N6PGQ. Copy?
Yeah, I got a good picture here. Not much more I can add. It looks like his log is what's underneath the headphones, and it looks like the KX3 has a set of aftermarket sidecar protectors on the radio. And if you want to talk about Elecraft gear sometime, I've got a KX3 also and would not trade it for a KX2, except for I'm not happy with the battery situation inside the KX3 and the speaker, but I still think I'd keep my KX3 N6PGQ.
Yeah, I'd love to get some opinions on that. Thank you, N6EMF. I'll maybe check in with you later. Anyway, good stuff. KL6KL, Brad. Copy?
Got a good copy. The synchronization was off, and it tended to slant to the right, and I had to turn on auto slant to get it to straighten out. So I can give you some information about that if you want to get that corrected. But it was slanting pretty bad for me. You can see in the webcam, but it completed good, and the signal was strong.
Very good. I neglected to comment on that as well, but it straightened right up with auto slant. Thank you for the comment, Brad. AI6GG. Joel, go right ahead. Tell us about your photo. Thank you.
Hey, lots of good info. You mostly got it all right, if not all. It is a KX2, not a 3. This is this past Saturday on Winter Field Day. So I packed everything up and went up to Folsom Lake, to Folsom Point, boat launch and a picnic area. And on the way to the picnic area, you go over the dike, and there's a high point with some parking area there. And I parked here and set up. And this is the station where I was operating from. So Yes, that's the headphones I was using. It was a boom mic, and actually I didn't always use that. Partway through, I stopped using the mic part of that and using the mic in the KX2 because I think I was getting RF feedback. It's not a good sign when all you do is start transmitting and before you even say anything, you get a wall of noise coming back on the monitor. Um, uh, so I think it's just RF feedback. Clipboard, yep, I did paper logging because everything I was doing I was concerned about both power budgeting because I was running off a battery and solar panel as well as RF interference. Um, I've had multiple cases where I take things out of the field that I think are quiet and they're not because at home it's such a noisy environment. You go out into the field and it's so quiet you hear everything. I just didn't want to bother, so I didn't. I knew that paper logging wasn't going to be that difficult for me since I do search and count, not running. So I can set it up, write it down, count, and that's it. To the left of the clipboard, I actually had the section list if I needed to figure out what the abbreviations were for some section. To the right, yes, that's the band plan. I don't have it memorized. And the phone's there more just to keep the band pan from blowing away. Above and to the left of the KX2 is actually the case that I used with the KX2. Oh, and yes, I do have the ears and the plastic cover and actually the enhanced heat sink on the right side for the KX2 since I plan to use it with digital nodes. On top of the case is a speaker that I actually use except for a little bit at the very beginning before I started using the headset. Below that is a battery boost for constant voltage out of the battery. I probably actually didn't need that for this setup, but I brought it anyway. The battery is hiding below the table where you can't see it. The big white mover thing above and to the right of the KX2 is the Hard Rock 50 amplifier. So I wasn't running bareback 5 to 10 watts off the KX2. I was running 50 or 60 watt CEP with the Hard Rock 50, which didn't help much because the pileups were so bad. But it gave me a little more oomph and maybe got me a few more contacts a little bit easier. Really bad pileup. People talking on top of each other, too close to each other. It's the usual field day shenanigans. It's every bit as bad as summer field day was last year. To the right of all of that, I had handy talkie what is that? Oh shoot, 60. Was it the AC60R? Forget what the prefix is. Handy talkie, so I was listening to the repeater and responding occasionally. It's in a stand but not charging because the stand throws out RFI. So the power was plugged into the radio, not into the stand. And the speaker that I used for a while with the handy talkie, but the problem was every time I broadcast, tried to do a QSO on F, I always get was the fuzz static noise coming out of that speaker, and it was so distracting I just unplugged it. A tote box, plastic Tupperware, whatever. To the right of the speaker, miscellaneous stuff. I know that there's an antenna analyzer in there. I think there was a Nano VNA, all kinds of other stuff too. Below that, buses, the black things, the flashlight that I actually used when I was packing up because it was well after dark by then. Locking clips, again, was more for weight. But the original idea was if I had any spare time, I was going to do a construction project using those and didn't. Very good day, had fun, didn't get many contacts, learned a lot of things like I do every time I go out into the field and do things like this. That's what field day is all about. Back to net, the N6NA.
All right, very thorough. Thank you, Joel. You got I don't know if it's a timeout warning indicator, the repeater signal when you were keyed up for quite a while there. So just a reminder when we're operating out there to give it a pause every so often to kind of consideration. So anyway, thanks for that update on the photo. Did anyone have any comments or questions?
N6PGQ.
Go, Bob.
Yeah, hey Joel, what antenna did you use out there?
I brought out my antenna's 10 to 80 end-fed antenna. I have a little PVC tower set up that I use on one end that goes up 20 feet. And on the other end, I was going to build another one of those, but I didn't have. I was running out of time, so I brought a MFJ tripod with mast. It only goes up about 18 feet, but it was quick and easy to set up. So it was only about 20 feet or less off the ground, but it worked really well. And possibly because I was at the high point with land going down all the way around me, that might have affected the takeoff angle. But the very first contact I got was New Jersey, and that tended to be how it went, mostly East Coast, back to the N6PG.
That's impressive. I'll bet you were beaming from cheek to New Jersey then. No pun intended. All right. Thanks, Joel. If no other follow-up questions, I'll take a pause and let Carol, KP4MD, get ready to transmit her photo. Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, thank you. This is KP from DOB sending this picture, PD120. Here we go, KP4MD.
Right.
Oh.
Copy with a minor slant, black and white photo of a small building, maybe a home or a cabin of some kind. It appears as though it's winter time. Maybe the leaves have fallen and possibly snow around the place, and maybe a chimney up upper right-hand corner. So I'll turn it over to Neil. I'm going in a different order now, but KL7HQR, you want to let us know if you copy?
Yeah, KL7HQR. Yeah, copy well. Quite a few artifacts on this one, greens and yellows, but...
Over to Bob and 6PGQ. Copy?
Okay. Well, I think the angle of the roof is in the picture. I don't see much of a slant in mine. The call at the bottom from Carol is in yellow and came through clearly. And I don't know what's at the bottom. It looks like I don't know, as a horrible guess, it might be a boat or something like that that's pointed near the middle of the bottom of the house and then goes off to the left and appears to be wider. I'm just guessing. And there's just a few artifacts, mostly blue dots, light blue, and I can't say much more. It's obviously a black and white photo in 6PGQ.
All right, thank you, Bob. KL6KL. Brad, copy? Check back with Brad. AI6DG. Joel, copy?
I'm actually going to look at the YouTube channel because I didn't receive all of it quite right. I had clicked on PD50. I'm looking at what the spec was on PD50 and SSTV and left it there instead of in auto mode. So I received it in PD50 mode, which obviously didn't work well. I mean, I see a house, but not the whole image. Anyway, looking at YouTube, I see a house. It looks to be black and white, but it's obviously winter in the aftermath of a snowstorm, or maybe even during a snowstorm. Everything's covered in snow. Two-story house, looking at the backyard. Stuff in the backyard, bushes or things. You can't really tell. They're covered in white. Maybe a car. Maybe, something covered in snow. A fence, and more yard, probably either going to the street or another backyard. It could be that this is from the recent storm back east somewhere, because there's certainly lots of webcams and online cameras that you could look at with stuff back there from back east, including, amazing how many cameras they have in Times Square if you ever want to get your New York Times Square fix. Or anyway, back to net, the I6TG.
All right. Thanks, Joel. I recognize it coming in as PD50. It came really, the photo transmitted really quickly compared to most others. So nice work, Carol. Carol, KP4MD, I don't think we got Brad. If Brad is out there, please jump in there. I'll take a quick pause. And if nothing from Brad, go ahead and describe your photo, Carol, KP4MD. Thank you.
Okay, this is KP4MD. Brad did say on the YouTube chat that he had to QRT, so he's not, he already left. And Gary is there, Gary Hayes, who says hello on YouTube chat, and the other people, KF4HR in North Carolina, Butch, early on said hi, and so did Jojo. He was on the YouTube chat. And Gary says he's decoding the images with his Android device. Uh, when Brad sent that PD50, I didn't realize that the PD120 button automatically changed over to PD50. So the picture I was trying to send, you only got the top 1/4, the top left 1/4 of the whole image. So up on YouTube, I've actually put the entire image that I wanted to send. And this is the picture that my sister took out of her front window in New York City in the midst of the big blizzard that they had over there. They received from 18 to 24 inches of snow. And it looks like a black and white picture, but that's what her little smartphone captured. I guess it was a completely gray sky and white snow. Color camera picture takes a picture like this. It looks pretty dismal, and I just thought I'd give a little meteorological picture there. But that was taken earlier this week in the midst of the snowstorm. Uh, Yesterday was the trail end of the snowstorm. Today they've had temperatures of 32 degrees or below, so none of the snow has melted. And this is 2 days after the actual big storm that they received back there. So I gave the entire picture up on YouTube because I switched it over to PD120, although I sent it in PD50. So back to net control. This is KP4MD.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing the photo. It gives some insight into the experience the folks are having back there. I hope your sister is remains safe, and God bless, right? So, so thanks for sending that over. Says a lot. We have one more person. We have Neil, KL7HQR. If you're ready to transmit a photo, if there's no other comments or questions on Carol, take a pause, go right ahead.
KL7HQR. Yeah, I'm ready to send it. However, I just noticed it's 5 minutes after 10. Would you guys rather close the net? I'll hold mine until next week. Otherwise, I'll be very glad to send it over.
All right, let's keep going. Go right ahead, Neil. We'll take your photo and discuss it as we do. And if anyone needs to drop off, we'll see them next week. N6EMF. Go right ahead.
Roger, KL7HQR. This is PV120.
Oh, wow. Neil, N6EMF here. I copied your picture with just a few pixel pops throughout it, but nice, rich color photo. No correction required. It looks like possibly your flight simulator in a different time frame, or you've made some progress. Oh, no, this is from 2015. So you got your flight simulator environment from 2015. It looks like you have a widescreen display in the background, possibly, but this is definitely a different picture or a different capturing of what you've got there from last week. Looks like fun. I'm going to turn it over to Bob in 6PGQ. You copy?
Yeah, I'm here. Well, this looks like work in progress because the rest of the monitors aren't there. I've been at Neil's. You can see an electric drill in the middle, and saws and tools and tape measures and all that kind of stuff all over his room. It's not quite ready for prime time, but it's a good picture. The quality came through. Lots of little pops on it, but I don't think that's all Neil's fault. You can see the throttle controls and the switches for the cockpit. Looks like a mouse trackball on the right on the table, and it says whatever that is, Voyeur Sim on the back of the chair, and it's a good picture. N6PGQ.
All right, Bob's got some history on that. Yeah, I think it's putting the puzzle together. This was probably it says right there, Rev 3 in development, 2015. I know that Brad is off, and AI60G. Joel, did you copy this time?
Good reception, lots of noise pops. As everyone has said, looks like the project is in progress. I'm wondering what all the wooden frames are. Is this like where he's going to put the monitors, or what the monitors are going to go on, or is he trying to build like a what looks like the windows in a plane or something with monitors in them. I'm not sure. The wall with the photos in the back is gone, but instead it's a blue surface. So I'm wondering, is he maybe got a projector that he's projecting onto that surface instead of the individual monitors? I guess it could also be a blue screen, but it's on the wrong side of it. Blue screen would be behind him. As compared to a green screen, I suppose they both work. But it's largely the same project as before, but things are missing. Obviously, as it's been said, it's in progress. Interested in hearing more. Back to Nettie, I-6TG.
All right. Well, congratulations, Joel, on getting your receive back on track, and nice description. I will turn it over to Carol, KP4MD, for copy.
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. I just want to say this really impresses me because I'm comparing this with the picture that Neil sent, I think it was last week, and I saw everything put together there, and I had, for some reason, I thought, well, this must be some kind of prefabricated thing that you just assemble. But I can see there's a lot of engineering went into doing this, and a lot of do-it-yourself. So it looks like something that Boeing would put together. Uh, uh, Obviously, some kind of aeronautical engineering project there, putting together a cockpit. That is very impressive, and the final product was it looked very professional. So back to net control. This is KP for MT.
Yeah, you've basically highlighted what we can appreciate in the photo. So thank you, Carol. I have a coworker who is trying to build a flight simulator. He's going to retire soon, and he's been talking to me about this too. So he's pretty proud and eager to share ideas and how he's done it. But anyway, this is, you're right, it represents a significant technical undertaking. And so I'm going to turn it over to Neil, KL7HQR. Tell us all about it. N6EMF.
KL7HQR. First of all, thank you guys. I think you give me way too much credit. I have to admit that this was the first time ever I tried to build anything with wood. In the past, I have always been electronics and software, primarily software. So I retired, and I decided to put this together. As Carol mentioned last week, Volair Sim, they sell the chair and the structure, the pipes, and the little piece of metal platform that I use to put the big wood panel on top of, and the holders for the three monitors. The TV that we have in here is a 27-inch, which is one of the three that eventually went in there. And in the front and the opening is where my touch screen eventually went. Joel last week asked me, and I forgot to mention, he asked about the computer. The computer is a very large desktop. It's a HAF, a high airflow case, and right now I have it. I just updated it to a 10900, an i7 10900, and it has a couple of graphic cards. One graphic card feeds the three main monitors, and the other one feeds the two small ones. And the wall, had just been painted, and the pictures have not been put up yet. I just were looking through, and this is Rev 3. I know I have pictures of my Rev 1, and one of those days I'll show you it. You see where the idea started from. So that's basically it. And by the way, if your friend wants to talk flight sim and development, and if I can help, feel free to give him my email address or phone number. KL7HQR, back to that.
All right, Neil. Well, thank you for that. And the background, at first, I identified it last week as an aquamarine wall with you had pictures and memorabilia up there. And today I thought it was a widescreen monitor, but I guess I was mistaken.
No, the color came in. This is the correct color of the wall. The other one came in a little tinted.
All right. Well, do we have any other? Well, congratulations on this development, Neil. And before I get ready to close the net, I'll check and see if we have any other comments, any general closeout items or questions. Well, it's been fun tonight. It's been real, and I appreciate all the sharing of photographs, memorabilia, and ideas, and all that stuff. I'll probably get in touch with you guys on Elecraft stuff later. And so thanks for everything, and we'll get ready to close the net. I want to express appreciation to all of our YouTube viewers out there, and anybody who's watching the video after the fact, appreciate them too. And thanks to all who participated in tonight's SSTV Net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. This net is officially